Live from the Sands Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's theCUBE at AWS reInvent 2014. Brought to you by headline sponsors Amazon and Trend Micro.
Hey, welcome back everyone. We're live here in Las Vegas. This is Amazon Web Services reInvent Conference. We're excited to be here second year in a row. This is theCUBE, our flagship program, where we go out to the events, extract the signal from the noise. We're on the ground floor, we're getting all the action. I'm John Furrier, the founder of SiliconANGLE. I'm joined by my co-host, Stu Miniman. We're here getting all the action, all the topics. And Terry Wise, Director of Partner Ecosystems for Amazon Web Services. Welcome back.
Thank you, great to be here.
I know you're super busy, so we'll just jump right into it. You're winning. And Amazon's growing, and it's a freight train, secretariat, thundering away, multiple boat lengths, whatever metaphor you want to use. So with that, you're drawing in an ecosystem. You saw it last year, you saw Marketplace. This is a utility model. Is the strategy changed at all? Is there any tweaks? What's the update of the ecosystem and what's current?
Yeah, so the strategy hasn't changed. I think we've tweaked it a little bit. I mean, if I boil it down to two things, coming out of reInvent, we want to make it easier for customers to use our services. I mean, if you look at everything we've launched with Code Deploy and Lambda today and Aurora, it's all about ease of use. And the second major theme, hopefully everybody's picked on, is ecosystem. I mean, we've had partners present. Godfrey from Splunk was on today. We had Docker in the keynote. I mean, this is really an ecosystem play. And frankly, our customers don't win unless the ecosystem wins, because that's where all the value add is.
You know, I've been really impressed with Trend Micro, for instance, and they've been sponsoring theCUBE here with you guys. We're really thankful for that sponsorship. But it's companies like that who actually have a lot to gain from that. I wrote a post this morning about channel services, huge margin expansion for professional services, and that's cool, I get that, and that's evolving, you guys are enabling that. Let's talk about in the stack now. Where's the white spaces? Where is the action for your ecosystem? Informatica's now announcing, pennies on the for the hour. I mean, it's insane how awesome this is getting. So, outside of the channel partner piece, what's the white space area look like for you guys, and who are you wanting to attract, and who are you growing?
So I think one of the greatest things about the cloud in general, and specifically AWS, is just the breadth that we provide the partners in the ecosystem. I mean, we're giving these partners the ability to easily sell to customers they haven't been able to engage with effectively, whether it's through Marketplace or through these hourly offerings and whatnot. But the real white space ends up being in the value add on top of AWS. And I'm not talking necessarily one layer, but we're talking 2 or 3 layers up the stack. The application modernization, the application development, the vertical workflows. I mean, that's really where the white space is, and that's what customers really want to pay for.
Stu, before I know Stu wants to jump in, but I want to just get what your news that you announced. What specifically did you guys announce this year that's new? Any new program expansions?
Yeah, we've got a couple of things. We launched a whole bunch of things, but I'll say 3 things quickly. First is we're planning to more than double our investment in the ecosystem with a real focus on go-to-market, so helping our partners build their business. Traditionally, we've been more around the technology enablement and platform enablement. Now we're really doubling down on the go-to-market with our partners. 2 other major announcements is our managed services program. So this used to be a competency for us. We've turned it into a full-blown program where we're wrapping up our intellectual property that we've gathered over the last few years, and we're enabling the ecosystem by providing those methodologies and tools and best practices into a full-blown program. I think the third piece is very similar to the managed services program, our software as a service program. We've enabled literally thousands of software companies to bring their products onto the platform in a SaaS model. We've packaged up all of that intellectual property around multi-tenancy and security and high availability, and now we're distributing that back to the ecosystem to enable them to move faster.
Well, and one more question, Stu, I want to follow up on that. Go to market. So one of the things that we're seeing, especially in Silicon Valley, is startups, and certainly the venture capitals are trying to figure out Amazon, and what horses to bet on, what are the big bets, but startups love Amazon, right? And because you can get up and running fast, but now the go-to-market becomes a critical piece of SaaS. Land and expand is a proven business model for winning in the cloud. You can look at all the winners there. Splunk, Tableau, all the people that are doing anything with SaaS. It's a flat hockey stick, so long blade, then inflection point on growth. You guys are enabling that. What do you offer those companies for that growth? and what would you say to them, and why should they go to market with you guys?
So the biggest thing we're trying to do is bring down the barrier to adoption of their products on the platform. And one great, cloud just brings down the barrier to adoption in general, but when you look at that cloud licensing model, and starting to license by the hour, or even turn into a freemium type model, one of the things we're really investing in our top SaaS partners is, hey, let's go out, let's really promote your product and make it super easy for customers to use, and they'll adopt more and they'll pay for more once we expand actually the overall market you're going after. So I think that's a big piece of this. The other piece is enabling our ecosystem to better align with our field organization, which is substantially larger than it was last year. So we're actually doing a lot of joint engagement and joint selling now with our partner ecosystem.
Yeah, so Terry, ecosystem's been a big word. Obviously, it's in your title we've been talking about, and there's a lot more focus this year on the enterprise. Last year, really speaking to developers, you've got both communities here. Can you talk to us a little bit about how your partners are helping move you into the enterprise further?
Yeah, what I will say is, no question, the fastest growing market segments of our business are the enterprise and the worldwide public sector, which is an enterprise in and of itself. And I will say, the vast majority of our engagements with enterprises include one or more partners, and we don't win in the enterprise if we're not in with partners. We only capture a small amount of the workloads. We rely on the partner's value add, whether that's software functionality, professional services, vertical expertise. This is the things that we don't have, and if we're going to help our enterprise customers maximize the value of the cloud, we have to have partners with us.
All right, so Terry, what conversations are you having with your partners? I think back to when we first launched theCUBE, VMworld 2010. VMware said, for every $1 we spend on VMware, $15 go into the ecosystem, and today the discussion is how much is VMware eating their ecosystem. So give us a little bit of the inside, the kind of give and take and roadmap sharing that you guys are doing.
Yeah, the thing that's been really fun over the last couple of days is, if you saw our partner summit on Tuesday, one of the major themes was think big and go big. So most of my discussions, actually really all of my discussions this week are, how do we go really big? We're out of the experimentation phase, we're out of the investment phase. It's now like, how do we go all in? You've seen partners like Informatica and Splunk and Acquia this week announce that they're all in with us. Infor did it earlier this year. So it's much more about an all-in strategy. And to the second part of your question is
what's the number?
What's it? Absolutely.
It's 5?
No, actually we came out publicly, and really, I'll give you the great consulting answer, it depends. But no, we're finding that our systems integrator and consulting partners who provide a lot of value up the stack, strategy, security, and whatnot, oftentimes are earning 10x plus revenue as a multiple of the AWS spend. So if you're spending $1 of AWS and you're providing managed services, application services, security services, strategy, you can earn up to 10.
So Stu's question, which is an awesome question, you don't know because you guys have such a wide range of variability on what your dollar is, right? So, but you're not greedy. If you look at the numbers, what you're basically saying is, it might even be, if it's 1 to 5 for VMware, you might be 10 cents to their 5. So it depends, right?
It could be 20x.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's really dependent upon the value that the partner is bringing to the customer. If you're just going to provide managed services on top of the platform, there's definitely value there, but it's a bit of a commodity play. If you're talking about vertical strategy and application development and bringing DevOps to the table and all the things you're hearing about, that's when you get into these 10, 12, 13x multiples.
So based on your experience, this is a good thread. Everyone's about what's in it for me, right? So people watching out there, there's a lot of voodoo magic going on in the cloud. I know you guys, Amazon, are constantly doing new stuff, so I'll bet on you guys. I'll do the all-in thing, no problem. But bottom line, give me a sense of the dollars I'll make. I'm a channel partner, for instance, okay? I've been doing, some professional services, getting squeezed on margins from the box guys, and now I got a cloud service. Is it is it all gross profit on my end? Or what's my margins going to look like? Can you give some kind of high level order of magnitude insight?
Yeah, so there's a sea change going on in the channel. Gone the days of making a lot of margin on reselling products only and having that be your core source of income and revenue. Those days are numbered. Yeah. Frankly, there's not a lot of value there for the customer, and the customers have gotten really intelligent over the last decade in terms of
the partner and the end customer.
That's right. That's right. So the margin question comes back to the value add piece. Yeah, I'm going to make more margin, providing more value, and really becoming a strategic partner to the customer, not just somebody who's fulfilling a transaction on a quarterly basis. Yeah. that business will be around for a while because we've been built on it for a long time, but yeah, I tell the ecosystem every time you get in front of them, build up the stack, build value, and that's where the money is, that's where the margin is.
Yeah, so Terry, one of the biggest things over the last year was that government move. We interviewed Teresa yesterday. Can you talk about, what should we expect to see from Amazon? Will we have other marketplaces to go deeper into other verticals? How do you expand beyond just the kind of the general marketplace in certain segments?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love the work we do with the federal government because in so many ways they're leading in cloud, and you don't often hear that the federal government is leading in innovation, so I think it's great. It makes me happier to be a taxpayer. Not happy, but happier. And, but no, I think one of the big trends here is we launched yesterday our service delivery catalog. So we're hearing from customers that, hey, I want my own private marketplace. I want a place where I can store and manage my images, and I want to be able to easily integrate public images from the marketplace. The US federal government and the intelligence community is leading the way. I would expect to see that in other industries, healthcare, financial services, life sciences. As you see this ecosystem coalesce around these opportunities and bring new offerings to market.
I mean, basically what you're creating is the enterprise app store. This is where enterprise can now, you become the new IT for them.
Yeah, it's, this is something, when you open something up like the marketplace and you see what the ecosystem starts to do, I mean, you can try to guess at what's going to happen, but the innovation that's happening in the ecosystem and some of the partners that are moving really fast, like Jaspersoft and Riverbed, I mean, and then you get smaller partners that are really coming up. It's super fun to watch.
All right, so if you are to become the enterprise app store, how do you partner and make sure that customers can use all of their applications? Because even customers that are all in on Amazon, they're using Salesforce for their CRM, they're probably using Microsoft 365, you might be using Google Docs and else there. How do you make sure that it's not just Amazon, that you span the full solution?
It's a great question, and we're living in a hybrid world. A lot of people talk about on-prem and cloud, but you just brought up a great point. There's a lot of other hosted offerings out there, some of which live on Amazon, some that don't. And we've got to make sure these things work really well together, so it comes down to integration. And that's another great opportunity for the ecosystem. How do I integrate Salesforce with AWS, with my on-prem, and create this next generation of hybrid cloud? And a huge, huge opportunity.
So we can't not talk about the Patriots. So we got to get the sports now.
I'm a Jets fan, so this is going to be painful.
So awesome. I love to see the Jets twist in the wind, but that's me. I mean, he's due to get fired. New York Post had a great headline 2 weeks ago. He's got to go. I mean, they're going to run him out of town. Don't you think the Jets coach is doomed?
It's classic Jets, right? You go put yourself out of the playoff really early in the season, then you kind of start to turn it around so that you make sure you get a really marginal draft pick. Right now, I'd like to see him lose out, get a great draft pick, but now Michael Vick's going to turn it around, win a few games, and we're going to be middle of the pack. Yeah. We're going to get some linemen who may or may not be there a year from now.
It should be all throwaway games at this point. Go for the seller, get that draft pick, rebuild, get a quarterback.
That's it.
This Keller Chris out of Stanford's looking really, really good. That's the redshirt freshman. Should take over the Stanford program, but that's a whole other story. Terry, thanks for coming on, really appreciate it. You're super busy, you're on leading the charge. Just put the final word in. What's the bumper sticker for this show this year? If you had to put it on the car, what's the main theme?
I think there's two. I said it earlier, it's ease of use and it's ecosystem. So we're launching all these new services to make it easier for customers to adopt mission critical enterprise applications, and we're really focused on enabling the ecosystem to play in what is becoming a massive opportunity. And we're just getting started.
What are you doing in the market? Are you doing anything like any programs you want to share with folks out there? Are you doing like events? Are you out in the field doing tours? What are you doing to gin up the action?
I'd be remiss to say that I think the most exciting thing I've done this year is the global expansion. I mean, the innovation and the expansion we're seeing in India and Australia and Germany, which we just launched 2 weeks ago, and Brazil and Latin America and across the Middle East and Israel. I mean, this is really a global...
China too, there's a lot of innovation in China and
absolutely.
Asia.
And this is really a massive global play, and I think that the thing I love about what I've seen in the ecosystem is you get a small company that starts in Japan and all of a sudden they have a global business overnight.
Well, the Germany's a nice feather in your cap for the company because Ireland just wasn't cutting it in the EU with the Germany kind of having their own little inside baseball there, but it's a nice footprint now.
Absolutely.
Full data center there.
Absolutely, so for customers who had concerns around data localization and data privacy laws, I mean that addresses that. It also gives us a much more infrastructure and expanded footprint, lower latency in continental Europe.
All right, Terry Wise here inside theCUBE, always bringing the A game. We're bringing the signal to you here live in Las Vegas for Amazon reInvent. This is theCUBE, I'm John Furrier with Stu Miniman. We'll be right back after this short break.
Thanks guys.